In today's lecture, we'll study about concept of free energy, variation of free energy with temperature and pressure, and criteria for spontaneity of process. There are two other thermodynamic functions which utilizes entropy in their derivations. These new functions are free energy functions. We know that all the energy provided to the system is never converted into work. Suppose Q is the quantity of heat absorbed by a system, then a portion of the heat, that is Ts, where T is temperature and S is entropy, is unavailable for doing useful work. Then we can say that quantity of heat available for doing the useful work is Q minus Ts, where Ts is the amount of energy unavailable for doing the work. Then quantity Q minus Ts is called as free energy. There are two different types of free energies arising under different conditions. If the heat is absorbed by the system at a particular temperature and at a constant volume V, then Q is replaced by internal energy E. Therefore, the expression for free energy will be equal to E minus Ts instead of Q minus Ts, and it is denoted by the symbol A and is referred to as Helmholtz free energy. That is, A equals to E minus Ts. Instead of Q minus Ts, it is E minus Ts. And if heat is absorbed by the system at a particular temperature and at a constant pressure P, then Q is replaced by enthalpy H. Therefore, the expression for free energy will be equal to H minus Ts. Instead of Q minus Ts, it will be H minus Ts, and it is denoted by symbol G and is referred to as Gibbs free energy. Therefore, G equals to H minus Ts. So first, we shall start with Helmholtz free energy. The concept of Helmholtz free energy was given by German physicist Hermann von Helmholtz. The symbol A for Helmholtz free energy is taken from German word Arbeit, which means work, and the function A is also known as work function, and it represents the maximum amount of energy which is available for being converted into work. Helmholtz free energy A is an extensive property and a state function relating to work. If initial and final Helmholtz energy are A1 and A2 respectively, then we can write it as A1 equals to E1 minus T1S1 for initial state and A2 equals to E2 minus T2S2. If we subtract equation 1 from equation 2, then A2 minus A1 equals to E2 minus E1 minus T S2 minus S1, where T is constant. Therefore, we can write it as delta A equals to delta E minus T delta S. For a reversible process at temperature T, we can write it as delta S equals to Q reversible by T. That is, from definition of entropy, where Q reversible is the heat absorbed reversibly, or we can also write it as Q reversible equals to T delta S. On substituting the value of Q reversible in the equation delta A equals to delta E minus T delta S, we get delta A equals to delta E minus Q reversible. But according to first law of thermodynamics, delta E equals to Q plus. If process is reversible, then work done is maximum. So we can replace Q by Q reversible and W by W max. On rearranging this, we can write it as delta E minus Q reversible equals to W max. If we consider work done by the system, then work done is negative. So again, on rewriting the above equation, we can write it as delta E minus Q reversible equals to minus W max. Let this be equation number 6. On comparing this equation with equation number 5, we get delta A equals to minus W max or minus delta A equals to W max. This indicates that decrease in work function A, that is minus delta A, give rise to maximum work that can be done by the system during the given change. Next is Gibbs free energy. Helmholtz free energy A is for the process or changes taking place at a constant volume, that is in a closed system, but generally processes are studied at a constant pressure. Therefore, American physicist J.W. Gibbs introduced another thermodynamic function known as Gibbs free energy. Gibbs free energy G is an extensive property and a state function. If G1 and G2 are the initial and final free energies of the system, then we can write it as G1 equals to H1 minus T1S1 for initial state and G2 equals to H2 minus T2S2, that is for final state. On subtracting, we get delta G equals to delta H minus T delta S. Now, change in enthalpy at constant pressure is given by equation delta H equals to delta E plus P delta V. Substituting equation 11 in equation 10, we get delta G equals to delta E plus P delta V minus T delta S. But we know that delta A equals to delta E minus T delta S, that is change in Helmholtz free energy. Substituting equation 3 in equation 12, it gives us delta G equals to delta A plus P delta V. So we can write delta G equals to minus W max plus P delta V, or multiplying each of them by minus sign, it gives us minus delta G equals to W max minus P delta V, where P delta V is the expansion work done against constant external pressure. Therefore, minus delta G gives the maximum work obtained from the system other than due to change of volume and is called the net work. Thus, net work equal to minus delta G equals to W max minus P delta V. The change in Gibbs free energy enables us to predict if the reaction is spontaneous or not. If delta G is less than 0, that is delta G is negative, then the reaction is spontaneous. If delta G is greater than 0, that is delta G is positive, then the reaction is non-spontaneous. If delta G is equal to 0, then the reaction is at equilibrium. Variation of free energy with temperature and pressure. We know that Gibbs free energy is given by equation G equals to H minus Ts, where H is considered as enthalpy and equation for enthalpy is H equals to E plus PV. On substituting the values in above equation, it gives us G equals to E plus PV minus Ts. On differentiating above equation, it gives us dG equals to dE plus PdV plus VdP minus PdS minus SdT. Then, from first law of thermodynamics, we know that delta E minus Q reversible equals to minus W max. On rearranging, we can write it as delta E plus W max equals to Q reversible. And for a small change, we can write it as dE plus dW equals to dQ reversible. And if work done in expansion is PdV, then dE plus PdV equals to dq reversible. And by definition of entropy, we know that delta S equals to Q reversible by T. And for a small change, we can write it as ds equals to dq reversible by T. Therefore, dq reversible equals to T ds. On comparing equation 16 and 17, we can write it as T ds equals to dE plus pdv. Substituting equation 18 in equation 15, it gives us dg equals to dE plus pdv plus vdp minus tds minus sdt. On cancellation, it gives us dg equals to vdp minus sdt. Further, at constant temperature, dt equals to 0. Therefore, dg equals to vdp. On rearranging this, dg by dp at constant temperature equals to v. And at constant pressure, that is dp equals to 0. Therefore, dg equals to minus s dt. On rearranging, dg by dt at constant pressure equals to minus s. This indicates that change of free energy with pressure and temperature are related to volume and entropy respectively. Next is criteria for spontaneity of process. If delta H and delta S are positive, then at lower temperature delta G will be positive, that is, reaction will be non-spontaneous. And at higher temperature delta G will be negative, that is, reaction will be spontaneous. If both delta H and delta S are negative, then at low temperature delta G will be negative and the reaction is spontaneous. But at high temperature, value of delta G will be positive and reaction is non-spontaneous. And if delta H is negative and delta H is positive, then value of delta G will be negative at all value of temperature. If delta G is negative, then reaction will be spontaneous.